What's up with it, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Raider Honcho, and I'm back with a brand new video for you. Is Julio Jones to the Las Vegas Raiders a done deal? Now, although it is rumors and it is speculation, I will admit that the Las Vegas Raiders acquiring Julio Jones is becoming a bit of a reality, but is it a done deal? I would say not so fast, okay? Now, before I get any further, let me shout out my guy Raiders Rain, because I did steal his picture from Instagram for my thumbnail because his jersey swap is so official. He just don't miss. No one does it better. So go check out Raiders Rain on Instagram. I totally stole his IG picture to use for the thumbnail, even though I hope that Julio Jones changes his number, because I think that Henry Ruggs is number 11 and he should stay number 11. But that's besides the point. That's way down the road if we even get Julio Jones, okay? So, now, the reason why I would say not so fast is that there's a couple of factors in that will come into play when it comes to acquiring Julio Jones. I think one of them has to be, what will the Raiders offer? I do think you can get Julio Jones for a second-round pick, maybe a player, maybe something else. I'm not really sure. But there will be other teams that we heard have offered a first-round pick. So, inevitably, I think the Atlanta Falcons will just take the best package, the best offer for Julio Jones, which they should. And I'm not sure the Raiders are going to be willing to give up a first-round pick. I've gone on record saying that I want Julio. I would love Julio to play here, but I do not want to give up a ton for him. I don't want to give up too many things. And one first round pick, even though borderline crazy, I would probably pull the trigger if it's just a first round pick. But I wouldn't be giving up numerous picks unless they were maybe in the second or fifth round. I do think next year's draft is pretty deep and there's a lot of talent there. So I don't want to give up too much draft capital. And that leads me to my next point on why I would be a little hesitant to thinking that it is a done deal, was that there are other teams that maybe could make better offers. I think the Titans are a team. I think Seattle's a team. And I think a dark horse team that nobody's really talking about would be the Philadelphia Eagles, because they do have a lot of draft capital. So, although I've been hearing that over the last 24 hours that the rumor of Julio Jones being a Raider is becoming more and more reality, it's becoming more and more set in stone, I don't believe anything until I see it. So I just can't say for sure it's going to happen yet. I have to see it, and I also have to see what the deal is going to be and how it's going to get done. I just think there are other teams in the mix that we have to look out for, including the Colts, which I didn't name yet. And as far as his contract, yes, does Julio Jones have a big contract? It'll be hard for us. We only have $5.6 million in the cap. I think if the Raiders really want to get it done, they'll get it done. They'll find a way. I don't know what Mark Davis' cash situation looks like, but with us only having $5.6 million, you're either going to have to extend Derek Carr to free up some money, or you're probably just going to have to restructure Julio Jones' contract. And I think that if the Raiders do acquire Julio Jones, even if they don't, or even if they do extend Derek Carr's contract, I do think restructuring Julio Jones' deal is just something that has to get done. And with Julio Jones being a little older in age, I'm not sure it makes sense for the Raiders to come up with a new contract, a new blockbuster deal for Julio Jones when you have wide receivers like Henry Ruggs and Bryan Edwards in the mix already, okay? And you already signed John Brown. So I'm just not sure what that does. Now, those are just the negative things, right? And I wouldn't even say negative. Those are just things that give you that reasonable doubt or that pause, that hesitation. But the positives of signing Julio Jones is there's so many of them, right? There's an abundance of positives that come along with it. I think number one is you give Derek Carr a true number one wide receiver, which he's never had in his career, right? You give him a guy who's still, when healthy, is probably a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL, in my opinion. I think the only receivers I don't put ahead of Julio Jones when he's healthy is probably DeAndre Hopkins and Devontae Adams. Those are the only guys that I probably don't put ahead of him, but I would take him over Tyreek Hill. I would take him over Brown out of Tennessee. I would take him over OBJ. There's plenty of guys I would take him over then. I just think Devontae and DeAndre, for my money, are probably the 2 best in the game right now. And when you think about the Raiders not having a true number one, I mean, they ranked second to last in targets to wide receivers in 2020. Means Derek Carr might be amongst the best passers in the NFL, completion percentage and yards and all that stuff, but he doesn't ever throw to a wide receiver. So I think adding a wide receiver that Derek Carr could definitely throw to is something that's definitely going to benefit our offense, and also provides that red zone help that we so desperately need down there within the 15-20 yard line. It gives us a bigger target. You spread him out with Darren Waller, with Henry Ruggs, Bryan Edwards, Hunter Renfrow, whatever you want to do. It gives us a solid option down there in the red zone. I think that's something that we can't put a price tag on because we really need that. And although some people might believe it takes away from the growth of Bryan Edwards and Henry Ruggs, I look at the positive side and I said, well, it definitely adds that veteran leadership that they're going to need. Bryan Edwards, if he could sit back another season, and I don't mean sit back as not play, but just like start to learn how to play the position from a Julio Jones, I think that's going to benefit him drastically going forward. But that's also one of the reasons why I don't know if this works, because we have so much invested in our young wide receivers that do you offer Julio Jones a contract that gives him 4 or 5 more years? You don't want Edwards sitting for 4 or 5 years, and you don't want Ruggs sitting for 4 or 5 years. So I just don't know how that plays out, but I am going on record saying that Julio Jones does make this offense better. I think to take us from a top 9 offense to probably a top 5 offense, yes. But I still think we need to understand that even with a top 5 offense, with a bottom 5 defense, we will still struggle, especially in the division we play in. So let's not just think that signing Julio seals our fate to the playoffs in the Super Bowl. But I will say that it's becoming more of a reality, and I'm excited. I think all you guys should be excited. And if I don't seem excited, I think you should understand that I went fishing yesterday. I went on a boat. I went on a boat 9-10 hours yesterday, and I took way too much Dramamine, which is motion sickness medicine, and I'm out of it. I don't know if this is real life or a dream. I don't know if I'm in Interstellar. I don't know if I'm in Inception or The Matrix. I don't know what the hell's going on right now. But yesterday I got off the boat and I slept for like 37 hours, which ain't even possible. But I'm super loopy right now. But I got to bring you some news because I took out yesterday. I set the bench yesterday. I didn't drop nothing yesterday. And shout out to all the content creators that have been bringing up news about the Raiders and covering all the stories because we desperately need you guys as well. So if you like the video, like the video. If you like the content on this channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to become a member to my Patreon or my YouTube membership plans, hit the link in the description. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Both are at Raider Honcho. Until the next time, Raider Honcho out.